Good morning, Asiana 214, final 7 miles southway left.
Asiana 214, Average San Francisco, Tower, wait for your left, sir, land.
Turn tail left, Asiana 214.
San Francisco Tower, Skyhawk 737, go around. 1,500 feet over San Carlos.
Sky was 6389, maintain 3000.
280, 3000, Sky 6389.
Hello, Asiana 214.
214 Heavy, emergency vehicles are responding.
Asiana 214.
Emergency holding.
I want to update our viewers now on what is going on. It is our breaking news. A Boeing 777 on a flight from South Korea crash landed today at the San Francisco airport. 291 passengers, 16 crew members were on board the Asiana Airlines Flight 214. Some of the passengers were seen walking off the plane. We know there are some injured, but the exact number has not been disclosed. The Asiana Airlines plane had flown across the Pacific from Seoul and was preparing to land when something went terribly wrong, obviously.
Hindi may sakay pa?
Oo, yan. Yung parang buntot, yun yung sumayad sa runway. Oh my God.
The plane crash landed on runway, we're told runway 28L. It crash landed there. A fireball erupted. Parts of the plane rocked and broke apart. Huge plumes of gray and white smoke rose up. The plane's roof, what's left of it, is now charred with a large gaping hole. The plane's tail in pieces. And as I said, we're still waiting to hear about the injured. We just heard from the National Transportation and Safety Board. There were a number of passengers on board, obviously. Some of them are talking now about what they saw and what they felt. This is an eyewitness to the crash. Let's listen.
And I saw it coming in. I was just watching planes come in, and this one, I saw that it looked normal at first. It was taking the same angle that they always come in, like this, and then the wheels were down, and then I knew something was wrong. About 3 or 5 seconds out, I started calling to my fiance. I says, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. And the wheels, they were too low, too soon. So if this is the runway, it came in like this, and I was just watching the wheels, and it just hit like that, and the whole thing just collapsed immediately. It never really had a chance. It was like a really blunt trauma to the whole plane. It just pancaked immediately like that. It collapsed, and then it slid. And then after a while, it started to slide and pivot. I guess it was counterclockwise. And then the wings caught on the tarmac there, and then they flew off, and just about then, the whole inside of the cabin went orange, and I went, oh.
All right, that was an eyewitness. I want to bring in now Dr. Todd Curtis, who's an aviation expert and also the founder of airsafe.com, which has been in existence for how long?
Since 1996.
As you're listening, you sat here and you heard the NTSB press conference with me. And you.
The plane originated in Shanghai, which is why you had so many Chinese nationals on board. There were actually 141 Chinese nationals on board this plane. As you say, we've heard from an official from the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure and Land that those 2 fatalities did hold Chinese passports. The other nationalities on board, 77 South Korean, 61 US citizens and 1 Japanese. There has been a flight already taken off from Seoul's Incheon Airport, a chartered Asiana flight with a team of investigators, 4 investigators for the Air Safety Board here. Asiana officials also, and there's another one scheduled this afternoon that is going to be flying family members and more officials over to San Francisco. So 1 flight already taken off and 1 on its way. We're also hearing a little bit more from Asiana about the pilot There were 4 pilots apparently on board that plane, and they obviously operate in shifts for what is a 10-hour flight from Seoul to San Francisco. And the man who was piloting the plane at the time, a man called Lee Jong-min, according to Asiana Airlines, and they say that he's one of their veteran pilots, been flying for the aircraft carrier since 1996. A little bit of information also on Asiana. As you say, it's the second of Korea's 2 major airlines. It's had some incidents in the past. In 2011, there was one crash involving a cargo plane with 2 fatalities. And back in 1993, a very big crash where 66 people were killed. But as we've been hearing from Richard Quest in our reporting all the way through the day's events, it doesn't necessarily have a worse safety record than other airlines. It's difficult really how to judge it on that front. It is known for its customer service here in this country.
Investigators who are launching with us here from headquarters, they are being led by investigator in charge, Bill English. We have a number of subject matter experts who are going to be leading specific teams. Those teams are going to be survival factors, the airport operations, and they're going to be focusing on the aircraft, the systems, the structures, and the power plants.